they've gotten just yet, and they're not leaving until they get it.
Got it. Aisha, thank you very, very much. Aisha, following that very, very closely for us here. All this comes at a time when protests are still developing around the country, particularly in Seattle, where that up to 6-block no-go zone remains pretty much under the control of the protesters and demonstrators here. It was supposed to break up by now. I guess it is not. Jason Rantz joins us, the Jason Rantz Show, very, very popular in the Seattle area. Jason, I thought by now there was a general word agreement that they were going to break things up, and they're not. So what's going on?
Well, as of right now, it is broken up. The cops went in earlier this morning. They were able to take back control of the general area. They haven't yet completely taken control. They're still removing all of the debris and the stuff the protesters left over. Early this morning, around 3 a.m., the officers started to stage their movement, and then by 5 a.m., they were moving in. As of about 20 or so minutes ago, there are 31 arrests. We expect that number to go up some, as there were some folks who just refused to leave. There are still some protests there, and the latest that we're hearing on the ground is the organizers behind CHOP are basically regrouping, and they are going to attempt to do something. Whether or not it's going to be at this one specific East Precinct, or whether or not they're going to move to another precinct, as they've had their eyes on the West Precinct, which is pretty significant for Seattle because it houses the 911 call center. We'll figure that out as the hours go on. But right now, the police have taken back this particular area. So the CHOP that we once knew is certainly not the CHOP that's there now.
What is the mayor saying these days?
The mayor isn't saying anything. So on Monday morning, there was another shooting at CHOP with a 16-year-old being killed, a 14-year-old being injured with gun violence. And so that was what precipitated this new urgency to take this back. But since then, she hasn't put out a statement. She hasn't put out a tweet. The only thing she has done is put out a letter demanding an investigation on a council member by the name of Kshama Sawant. She's a socialist council member here who led one of the protests to the mayor's front door. And the mayor is pretty ticked off about that, which is kind of ironic, as the mayor called CHOP a block party, a summer of love. But then, of course, when it comes to her home, all of a sudden it's dangerous and threatening.
Amazing. Jason Rantz, thank you very, very much. Good chatting with you again. I'm glad that at least breaking up and hopefully